UN, and the I.P.C.C. This year, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, I.P.C.C., which shared the Nobel with Al Gore, released 3 major documents chronicling the intricate details, implications, and possible solutions to climate change. The bottom line, climate change is almost certainly being caused by human activity, and if nothing is done, there will be catastrophic environmental, human, and economic consequences. Now, their findings, based on the expert opinion of about 2,500 scientists, are being condensed into a shortened version that will be used by the world's leading policymakers at a summit in Bali starting December 3rd to discuss the next step in combating climate change. The ultimate goal of the meeting is to negotiate a successor to the Kyoto Protocol, which expires in 2012. Coincidentally, one of the 2 major industrialized nations that didn't ratify Kyoto, Australia, may be on board by the time the Bali meeting comes to pass. Australia's Labour Party leader, Kevin Rudd, said today he would personally attend the meeting and sign a Kyoto Pact if he wins this weekend's parliamentary elections. Rudd added that fighting catastrophic climate change would be one of his top priorities. That would leave just one lonely industrialized country stubbornly refusing to sign Kyoto. And speaking of very stubborn, BUSH struck down in court. Last week, a federal appeals court harshly dismissed BUSH's new pollution standards for SUVs, pickup trucks, and vans, ordering the administration to prepare a new, tougher plan for vehicle emissions. The U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals couldn't figure out why trucks are allowed to pollute more than cars, or why heavier commuter trucks weren't included, among other things. The court also concluded that the administration didn't properly address greenhouse gas emissions when it set new minimum miles per gallon requirements. Can I get a special interest witness? But as always, Big Auto had excuses and complaints. Any further changes to the program would only delay the progress that manufacturers have made toward increasing fleet-wide fuel economy, said Dave McCurdy, President and Chief Executive of the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers. They'd get a lot more done if they stopped complaining and just did it. In Japan, some cars are required to get in excess of 48 miles per gallon, so it can be done. Maybe that's why California Attorney General Jerry Brown called raising the efficiency standards a mere 1 mile per gallon pathetic and appalling. He's quite right. The lead judge in the matter, Betty Fletcher, also questioned why the administration failed to consider the many numerous benefits of reduced greenhouse gas GHG emissions associated with increased fuel efficiency. She made sure to note that the administration did, however, include an analysis of the employment and sales impacts of more stringent standards on manufacturers. Yes, it's going to cost something to do this. She also couldn't possibly understand why BUSH refused to include new standards for trucks weighing more than 8,500 pounds. That's 8,500 pounds, like the Hummer H2 and the Ford F-250. Let's do the math. 8,500 or 8,500 pounds. Let's see. If you always add numbers, 8 plus 5 is 13. B-U-S-H is not possibly. He could not possibly go over that number because he is of the number 13. This is a sign. Period. I'll call Connecticut Attorney General Richard Blumenthal, who said, "This historic ruling vindicates our fight against fuel economy standards that are a complete sham and a total gift to the auto industry." Whatever happened to what's best for the citizens of this great country? Certainly, we'd like to go further on a gallon of gas, especially in a world of runaway energy demand. Energy demand at breakneck speed. Also last week, the Financial Times broke a story entitled, "Welcome to a World of Runaway Energy Demand," an official invitation to anyone who's still in the dark on this issue. The article is a summary of the International Energy Agency's latest World Energy Outlook and paints a pretty grim picture of the world's energy economy. Here then are a few of the findings highlighted in that report. Without policy change, world energy demand will be 50% higher in 2030 than it is today. China and India would account for 45% of that growth, and you thought things were bad today. OPEC's share of the world oil market climbs from 42% to 52%. And a supply side crunch in the period to 2015 involving an abrupt escalation in oil prices cannot be ruled out. It very well possibly could be happening right now. A $22 trillion investment, about half of 2006 gross world product, is needed to make sure energy supply infrastructure can meet rising demand over the next 20 to 25 years. Without policy change, global CO2 emissions will jump 57% between 2005 and 2030, conservatively. A growing proportion of the energy vital for so-called civilized life comes from a few, sometimes increasingly hostile, suppliers. OPEC's revenues are forecast to triple. Bottom line, according to the FT article, it is simple. Commercial energy is the staff of our contemporary life. As demand for energy rises, nothing is more important than ensuring increased supply and efficient use while curbing environmental damage quickly, immediately, right now. Today's high prices are a start. Fundamental innovation and high prices on greenhouse gas emissions must follow. Yes, climate change, global warming is real. We must get a handle on it right away, immediately, ASAP. This is another sign. Period.